death to end its Tibet problem. Meanwhile, global support for Tibetans, exemplified by the Dalai Lama's 1989 Nobel Peace Prize, 2007 Congressional Gold Medal, and extensive governmental and NGO backing, as well as the United States Congress's 1991 Resolution 41 declaring Tibet an occupied country under established principles of international law, whose true representatives are the Dalai Lama and the Tibetan government in exile, falters before China's rise. Tibetan refugees, moreover, are unnerved by Tenzin Gyatso's 2011 devolution of political authority to a young, popularly elected prime minister, Lobsang Sangay. Although the Dalai Lama's historic creation of a constitutional democracy, ending his lineage's 369-year-long Gangdeng government, fosters pride in a modern polity, fear of his retirement is rife. There is absolutely no need to worry. I will continue to serve the cause of Tibet, he has reassured the refugee parliament. If we have to remain in exile for several more decades, a time will inevitably come when I will no longer be able to provide leadership. Therefore, it is necessary that we establish a sound system of governance while I remain able and healthy. Such is Tibet's plight 64 years after 2/3 of its 8,500-man army perished fighting 40,000 PLA soldiers in the largest annexation of a sovereign state since the Second World War. One ancient nation is dying, the Dalai Lama often pleads for his people's salvation, yet genuine Tibetan autonomy would broadly benefit all. The PRC's invasion of the Tibetan plateau removed, for the first time in history, the vital buffer balancing Asia's dominant civilizations. Today, India and China, comprising 1/3 of humanity, station 150,000 opposing troops across a 1,200-mile Himalayan front. 16 rounds of border talks have failed to resolve territorial disputes remaining from the 1962 Sino-Indian War. Tibet's volatility grows, and with India recently declaring China its main strategic threat, the future risks large-scale conflict. The Dalai Lama's first Sino-Tibetan settlement bid, the 5-point peace plan presented to the U.S. Congress on September 21, 1987, addressed the danger in Asia by calling for the transformation of the whole of Tibet into a zone of peace, a demilitarized region whose traditionally neutral, non-violent Buddhist heritage could restore mutual trust between the continent's major powers. With China's destabilizing megadamming of Tibetan rivers, holding hostage much of South and Southeast Asia's water supply, the need for such comity has, again, increased. A Tibetan settlement must come for India and China to achieve peace, says Tempa Tsering, a former cabinet minister of the Tibetan government in exile. And for that, the Chinese have to accept our right to self-rule. China, though, only negotiates if its opponent has the upper hand. Some Tibetans, accordingly, ponder discord, either a second Sino-Indian War, in which one of Beijing's regular incursions would goad India into a counterattack, or a low-intensity conflict, allowing Delhi's high-altitude Tibetan Commando Brigade, the Special Frontier Force, to coordinate a popular insurgency, cutting off China's isolated garrisons, as in the 1909-12 Manchu invasion. Even so, the vast majority of Tibetans favor a peaceful solution with a more moderate Chinese government accepting the framework for self-rule as outlined in the 2008 Government in Exile's Memorandum on Genuine Autonomy for the Tibetan People. That, in turn, would enable the Dalai Lama's return with renewed Chinese respect for his time-honored role as an ethical paragon. His Holiness will win over young Chinese with the power of his compassion, Tempa Tsering predicts of the last best scenario. Just as he personally created a worldwide Tibet movement, he'll even more powerfully touch those who've been most brutalized, the Chinese people themselves. Then you'll see His Holiness giving, as he first hoped for in the 1990s, the Kalachakra initiation in Tiananmen Square. Indeed, the Dalai Lama's ability to assuage China's moral crisis by restoring indigenous Buddhist principles has long shown its value. Right from the beginning, His Holiness said, "We don't hate the Chinese people," recounts Tenzin Gyatso Tetong, the Dalai Lama's foreign secretary for 40 years. He constantly encouraged